Good day, my JSS students. Or whichever time you are watching this, I believe you are doing fine at home, and I'll be taking your mathematics this morning. And I'm going to be reviewing this topic, simultaneous linear equation. It's not a strange topic to you. It's what we've done before, but I feel we should review this topic, having exhausted the topics we have for JS3. And I would like you to get your textbook with your new concept mathematics for JS3, because you are going to be using it. And you already know me. Okay, let's get to the objectives of this lesson. The objectives of this lesson is that by the end you will be able to solve simultaneous linear equation algebraically using substitution and elimination methods. You know those two methods, they are not strange to you. Then the second is we are going to be using simultaneous linear equation methods to solve world or real life problems, and I'm going to focus more on this objective 2, because that's where most of you have a little bit of difficulty. So let's get ahead now. Simultaneous linear equation, what's it all about? Is a set of equations in which two or more variables for which there are values that can satisfy all the equation simultaneously. You know the meaning of the word simultaneous, something occurring at the same time. So we are going to be solving for two unknown at the same time, and that's only possible if we have it in two equations. You know what the word variable means? Variables are unknown, and in mathematics we use the letters of the alphabet to represent unknown. You know all of that. So example of these equations is what is below here. 3x plus 2y equals to 12. Unknown x, unknown y, then 5x minus 3y equals to 1. And we can only solve for x and y at the same time using these two methods. Alright, so let's get to the methods again. What are the methods of solution of simultaneous linear equation? Number one is, you know them. The first is substitution method. Then the second is elimination method. You know them. Then the third is graphical method. That is ruled out, that's cancelled, because I'm not going to be doing that in this video lesson. Okay, so let's get to substitution. I will require you go with me. The first approach, the first thing you are supposed to do is to label your equation. You know that you ought to label your equation 1 and 2. Then the second is you make one of the variables. You know the meaning of variables by now, the unknown. If you have forgotten, variables are letters. Make one of the variables from any, look at it in red, any of the given pair of equations is subject to form equation 3. So I can pick any of the variables from either equation 1, I can pick x from equation 1 and make it the subject to form equation 3, or I pick y from still equation 1 and to form equation 3, or I pick x in equation 2 to make my equation 3, or y from equation 2. So it's your choice, and I will show you in the example when and the best variable to pick. All right, then the third approach is you substitute equation 3 formed into the other equation. You understand what this means? From equation 1, for instance, if from equation 1 you got your equation 3, you are going to substitute it back into equation 2. Should I take it again? Yes, I will. From 1, you get your equation 3, you put it back into 2. If from 2 you get your equation 3, you are putting it back into 1. I believe that is clear. Alright, number 4, then you solve the resulting equations. You just manipulate either by collecting like terms. You know all of that. So the second method we are reviewing is the elimination method. A second. Elimination method. Sorry for this itch. Just a second, please. All right, we have it there now. Sorry for the hold there. All right, so the first thing you ought to do in this method also, you label your equation, equation 1, equation 2. Then you determine which of the two variables you want to eliminate. You determine which of the two variables you want to take out. That's what that means. You determine, nobody will choose for you. You choose based on the kind of question you have. Then the third one, you make the coefficient of the chosen variable equal in both equations. So if I have chosen to eliminate x, I am going to make the third step now. I'm going to make the coefficients. You know what coefficient is? You are going to make the coefficient equal in both equations. Then number 4, you add or subtract the given pairs of given equation from each other. You know what that means? That's where we form the acronym or the reminder DSA and SSS. Different sign you add, yes, then same sign you subtract. I believe you can still remember that. Different sign you add, then same sign you subtract. All right, then the last is you solve the resulting equation. So these are the steps you need to follow. Peradventure you have forgotten, you should remember by those points. Now let's get to the worked example. Let's take some few examples. I will need you to get your textbooks now. I'll need you to get your textbooks because I'll be working from your textbook from page 94 of your textbook. We have example 3, and the example says solve the following these pairs of simultaneous equation by substitution method. Solve this by substitution method. So how do we do that? What are the questions? Look at them. They are in your textbook there. So we have 5 questions there, but I'm not going to do the 5 because of the limitation of this video lesson, video approach. So I'm just going to solve, I'm going to do the first one, only the first one. And if you watch, the coefficient of x in the first equation is 4, y is 2, then here we have 3, then here we have 5. Those are the coefficients. I believe you can remember that. So let's get ahead. The first thing I told you, you label your equation. You label it 1, you label it 2, you know. Then you make any of the variable the subject to form your equation 3. Now I chose y. The textbook used y to form the subject for equation 3, and that's what I'll also be using. Now I'll tell you why you might not take 4 by the time I finish making y the subject. So let's go, and you know what we mean by subject. You can still remember a variable standing on its own. Okay, so you know what happened there. 4x on the left hand side, which is positive, is now on the right hand side as negative. You can do that. Then you divide both sides by 2. So y stands alone now. Y is the subject, and that's our equation 3. I believe that's easy. All right. So having gotten our equation 3 now, we are going to take it back to equation 2. Are you still with me? You know, from 1 we got 3, we take it back into 2. If you got your equation 3 from 2, we are going to put it back into 1. So I got equation 3 from 1, I'll put it back into 2. So let's go on now. when you put that in, look at equation 2. Equation 2 initially was 3x plus 5y equals to 11. So I bring 3x down. Now I have the value of y here. You can see that now I have the value of y here now. So y is 5 minus 2x. So in the place of this y, I'm going to put 5 minus 2x. Do you understand? You need not write y again. I've seen some of you write 5y into bracket. No. Y is this now. You understand? This is y now. So you put y here. Do you understand? Then 11 comes down, and that's all. So you can see that this can be solved now. This can be worked on now. So we go on now. So we have 3x plus 25. You take note of the sign. Plus 5 multiplied by plus 5 in the bracket. You have plus 25. Then plus 5 times minus 2x. You have minus 10x equals to 11. You can do that. Then you rearrange. Some people call it collect-like terms. So when you rearrange, 11 is having no letter. So 25 will come to the other side. And you have 3x minus 10x equals to 11 minus 25. When you do that, you have minus 7x. 3 minus 10 is minus 7. 11 minus 25 is minus 14. So you know what to do over here. You know what to do. You divide both sides by the coefficient of x, which is minus 7, and you get your x to be 2. I believe it's very easy. Then what do? We've gotten x. We need to get y. So you need to substitute. That's why we call it substitution method. 2 times you substitute here and here. So you substitute the value of y into equation 3. Why? Because we want to get y. We are putting back the value of 2, having gotten x to be 2. We are putting it back here, then we'll get y, and we are done. So we go again. Y is equals to 5 minus 2 into bracket 2. Are you still there? So you open the bracket, you have 5 minus 4, and y is 1. So x is 2, y is 1. That's the answer. And when we do our check, what we call check, that is not strange to you. When we do our check on the first equation, 4 times 2 is 8, 2 times 1 is 2. So 8 plus 2 will give us 10. That's perfect. Then you check it on the second one. 3 times 2, 6. 5 times 1 is 5. 6 plus 5, 11. So I'm correct. I don't need a teacher to tell me. You don't need to submit before you know you correct. Getting your answer, you do your check, and you will know when you are correct or not. So let me just, I told you I will not be doing the remaining 4. Let me just review the remaining 4. Now, I'll start with the first one again. It's convenient for us to make y the subject in this first equation, in this first question, because by the time, if perhaps we make x the subject here in the place of y here, what we'll be having is 10 minus 2y divided by 4. And we can't divide 10 by 4. That will give us a remainder, a fractional remainder. So you check properly before you decide, should I make x or y the subject. Now the same goes for equation 2. If I want to make, let's say, x the subject to form my equation 3 now, you see, by the time I take 5y to the right hand side, I'll be having a fraction. I'll be having x is equals to 11 minus 5y divided by 3, and that can give me complication if I am working here. So you check properly before you pick the best variable to make your subject 3, to make your equation 3 rather. So let me go to the third one here. The third one here, if I am to do this now, the best variable to make equation 3 is x. Why? I have told you before, because the coefficient is 1. So if I take 3y to the other side, I will have x equals to 6 minus 3y, and that's pretty easy. Do you understand? By the way, I can also make y here the subject, because by the time I put in I take 2x to the other side here. By the time I take 2x, this 2x to the other side here, I will have y equals to 7 minus 2x, and that's pretty easy. You understand what I mean? Now, going to this now, which one are you going to use? xy in the first or xy in the second? For me, I will use y in the second. How do I mean? By the time I take minus y to the other side, it will become, plus y. Then I take 2 to the left-hand side back. So that will be 4 minus 2 equals to y, which is the same as y equals to 4x minus 2. So you watch before making your x or y the subject, so that you avoid fractions in your equation 3. Check the solutions in the textbook, and I believe you will be clear. All right, let's go to another example. And this example is on elimination method. Still from our textbook. Still from our textbook, page 97, example 5. Okay, solve the following, each of the pairs of simultaneous linear equation by elimination method. So the same question we did earlier, and we have a new one here. So let's use elimination method on this first one. So we go again. The first thing I told you, label your equation. Make sure you label them so that you don't mix them up. Then what did I say we do next? You decide, you choose which of the variable you want to eliminate. If it's x, you want to eliminate, good, fine. If it is y, you decide. Elimination means you are removing something out. You are taking something out. You understand? Okay, so let's eliminate x. Now I've chosen x to be eliminated. So I will make the coefficient of x equal. What is the coefficient of x here? 4x. Now, what's the coefficient of x here? 3. What's the coefficient of x here? 4. Here, 3. So I will make sure these are the same. Are you with me? All right. So what do I need to do to make these two the same? I am going to multiply equation 1. I'm going to multiply equation 1 by 3, so that I will have 12. And when you are multiplying equation 1 by 3, so that 4x will be 12, you have to multiply the y component also with 3, and the constant also with 3. Are you there? Don't just only multiply this by 3 and leave this. No. Multiplying the equation by 3 means this is the same as this. Are you there? Okay, we go for the second one now. Multiply equation 2 by 4. So what do we have? We have 12x plus 10y equals to 44. You understand? Okay, so both coefficient of x now, they are the same, 12, 12. And note, is plus 12, coefficient is either positive or negative. So this is positive 12 or positive 12 here and positive 12 here. You understand? So now, what do we do? DSA or SSS. Different sign add, same sign subtract. So what are we supposed to do? Having checked again on the coefficient, we observe that the coefficient is positive, both are positive, that's same sign. So you are supposed to subtract. Are you there? You subtract 4 from 3. You take 4 from 3, or either way you want to do it. Some will do equation 4 minus 3, or equation 3 minus 4. Just make sure you check on your coefficient, you know if it is SSS or DSA, then you perform the operation. So 12x, same sign, subtract. 12x minus 12x will give us 0. So that's why you are not seeing anything under here. Are you there? That has been eliminated. Now you go to the y component. Because this has given us the criteria, now the operation to be performed, this has given us the SSS now. So you apply the same subtraction on this. That's 6, positive 6 minus positive 20, which is minus 14y. You understand? Minus 14y equals to 30 minus 44. And that will give you minus 14. Are you there? All right. So that's equation 3 minus equation 4. If you like, if you wish, you can do equation 4 minus 3. You will still get the same answer. This is what I mean. We did plus 6 minus plus 20, gave us minus 14y. But somebody might choose to do 20y minus 6y, 44 minus 30, who both have the same answer. So either way you want to do it, just make sure you get your DSA or SSS right, because if you don't get it right, you are not going to get the answer. So having gotten this now, you know what to do. You divide both sides by minus 14, because that's coefficient of y here. Then you get your y to be 1. I think it's pretty easy, right? Okay. Now let's go further. Okay, let's go further, please. Sorry for that. Let's go further. Now, having gotten y, what is left? We need to get x. So now to get x, you substitute the value of y, which is 1, into either of equation 1 or 2. Are you there? You know we don't have equation 3 here. We don't have equation 3 in the elimination method. So I choose to bring it in equation 1 now. So we have 4x plus 2 into bracket 1. We know the value of y now, which is 1, equals to 10. Then you work on it. 4x plus 2 equals to 10. No mistakes. Then you get your 4x equals to 10 minus 2, 4x equals to 8, and x is equals to 2. Just the same answer we have for the same question using both elimination and substitution method. I believe it's very easy. All right. So you can test yourself on that on the second. Okay, let me go back. A minute, please. Okay, welcome back, please. Sorry for that break. All right. So for the second example here, 2x minus 3y equals to 10. It's your choice. Either you make x, you eliminate x, or you eliminate y. Just take note of the sign. If, for instance, I want to eliminate y here now, already you can see that they have different sign. So what I'll be doing is not SSS, it's DSA. So take note of that. But if it were to be x I want to eliminate, you know, it will still be the same SSS, because by the time I make the coefficients the same, the signs are still the same, positive. So that's that. Let's go higher now. Let's go to the next thing we have to do here. We are going to be working on word problems now. Okay, I know this is a challenge to most of you, but maybe by the end of this lesson you will be able to do it on your own. So what problems? The first we have is 4 pens and 6 pencils cost 272 naira. Now 6 pen and 5 pencils cost 328 naira. Find the cost of 1 pen and 1 pencil. So this is a typical case of a word problem that you need the simultaneous linear equation methods to solve. So what do we need to do first? You are supposed to write or express your variables. What are the variables in this question? Pen and pencil. Those are the two variables, and you are going to express it using unknowns x and y. You understand that? X and y. All right. So you go on from the first statement, from the first sentence. It says first pen, x in this solution stands for my pen. So 4x and plus 6 pencils, 6y equals to 272. Now 6 pens, that's statement 2 now, or sentence 2, give rise to equation 2. 6 pens, 6x now, and 5 pencils, 5y equals to 328. So the problem most of you have is changing this statement to equation like this. And believe you me, it's very easy. Once you can interpret it, it will be very easy for you. So what method is preferable here? Substitution or elimination? It's your choice. It's your choice. The one you are most convenient with. But for me, I will advise you use elimination method here. Why? Because it is faster. 2, because these are big numbers. You are dealing with big numbers here. You can see them. So it is safe. It is better for you to use elimination method. And for you to use elimination method, you decide which of the equations or the variables, you want to eliminate. So let's eliminate x now. So we have to make the coefficient of x to be the same. We have to make this the same. So to make them the same now, equation 1 multiplied by 3, that will give us 12x plus 18y equals to 806. Somebody will ask me, how do I know if I will multiply equation 1 by 2, equation 1 by 4, by 5? It's your multiples. You know your multiplication table, and your multiplication table tells us that 12 is a multiple of 4, and 12 also is a multiple of 6. You understand? So you need that skill, your multiplication table, the skill of your multiplication table to make the coefficient equal. So equation 2 now, guess, what are we going to multiply equation 2 by? I can hear you, guess. All right, somebody said 2. Okay, it's 2. So we are going to multiply equation 2 by 2. And that will be 12x plus 10y equals to 656. We got equation 3 and equation 4. So what are we supposed to do? We are eliminating x. So eliminating x now, that means the coefficient, let's check again. The coefficient, are they positive or negative? Positive. Both are positive. So that means we are going to perform SSS again. Do you understand that? Very good. So 12x here minus 12x will give us 0. That's why you can't see anything here. No need writing the 0 again. Then you go here. 18y is positive. So I can call this 18 plus 10 here. So plus 18 minus plus 10 is the same as 18 minus 10, and that will give us 8y. Then 816 minus 656 will give you 160. So you know what to do to get y now. You simply divide both sides, and your y is equals to 2. So you substitute 20. Sorry, that should be 2. substitute 20, yeah, 20. Y is supposed to be 20 here. Sorry for that. So substitute 20 for y into any of the equation 1 or 2. So we've done that before. So you put it in equation 1, you solve, and you get your x to be 38. Then you conclude, because this is a word problem. I will not be happy you going through this question and you cannot put your answer in statement form. It is important you put your answer in statement form. You know, you are giving a report now. Thus, a pen costs 38 naira because X stands for pen. We have defined it before. Then Y stands for pencil, which is 20 naira. Sorry for putting 2 here. It ought to be 20. Okay. So I believe it's easy. First thing first, make sure you express your variables from the question. Give them letters X and Y. You can use P and Q. You can use A and B. It's your choice. But most often we use X and Y because we are already familiar with that. I have one more example on word problems for you. Let's take that before we call it a day in this lesson. Oh, before we go on that, let's check our answer. Now, the cost of 1 pen is 38 naira. So, 4 pens will cost 152 naira. Then, 6 pencils. 1 pencil Y is 20 naira. So, 6 pencils cost 120. So, when you add it up, what are you going to have? 272. So, the first statement is correct. Then you go to the second statement. 6 pen, 6 times, what's the cost of a pen again? 38 naira. Then that will give you 228. Then 5 pencils, 5 times 20, 100 naira. You add it up, you have 328. So this is how you know if you are correct. That's the good thing about this topic. You can know your answer if you are correct or not. All right, let's go on again. I have one more example before we call it a day. Okay, MM's age and Toyo's age add up to 24. When you see a statement like that, you should know what that means. Meaning MM's age and Toyo's age is equals to 24 and plus. All right, that is pretty easy. So 6 years ago, was 3 years old and was 3 times as old as Toyo. 6 years ago, was 3 times as old as Toyo. What are their ages? So what are their ages means what are their present ages? You understand? All right. So first thing is first, what are you supposed to do? Let MM's age be P years. Let MM's age be P years and let Toyo's age be Q years. You must define that first. So we go on. First statement, MM's age and Toyo's age add up to 24 years. So that's where we got this. P plus Q equals to 24. All right, we go on to the second statement. 6 years ago. So if their present age is P, so 6 years ago, was 6, P minus 6, and Toyo was Q minus 6. Do you understand? Sure, you should. You should understand that. 6 years ago, P minus 6. 6 years ago, Toyo, Q minus 6. Now, but the second statement says was 3 times. So this is now, was 3 times as old as Toyo. So that's what we have there. You understand? Okay. So going on now, we have P minus 6 equals to 3Q minus 6. Then you rearrange it. You open the bracket, P minus 6 equals 3Q minus 18. 3 times Q, 3 times 6. You should know that. Then further rearrange, you have pack the ones with the letters on one side, P minus 3Q, because it's positive here. So coming here is negative, equals to minus 18 is here, you can see it. Then this comes in plus 6. So P minus 3Q equals to minus 12. So we have two equations now, equation 1, equation 2. So you decide again, just as we have said, that you label, having label, then you decide which method do I want to use, because in word problems we don't specify, we don't tell the method to use. You use your intuition to do that. So equation 1, equation 2. So which method is best here? As I said earlier, elimination is best because of its briefity. It's very short, it's not long, it doesn't take time. So I'll use elimination method here again. And elimination method, which variable do you want to eliminate? I will eliminate P. P is easier. Why? You can see the coefficient of P in both equations is 1. So I will not be doing like I did in the previous two examples. I will not be doing equation 1 multiplied by no, because the coefficients are already the same, 1, 1. Do you understand? I have seen so many of you going again, multiplying something, an example like this, still multiplying by 2 by 2. No need. They are already the same, plus 1, plus 1. So just go ahead and do your SSS or DSE. So what are we supposed to do, SSS or DSE? Because the same sign, they have the same sign, so we do SSS again. Everything is not SSS, but it's just coincidence that most of what we've done so far is SSS. All right, but if you choose to do to eliminate Q, because as you can see there are different signs, that will be DSE. Okay, so SSS now, P minus P, that's 0, plus P minus plus P, that's 0. So that's why it's no more here, it has been eliminated. Then plus Q minus 3Q. I'll take it again, plus Q, same sign, subtract, minus 3Q. That will give us 4Q. Minus times minus will give us plus. So plus Q plus 3Q, 4Q. So 24, same sign, subtract, minus 12. Are you there? 24 minus 12 will give us 36. Are you there? Okay. So by the time you work on that, we are going to have our Q to be 9. So substitute 9 for P into equation 1 so that we can get Q. So using equation 1 again, P plus Q equals to 24, then P plus 9. At this juncture, let me mention that there should be a difference between your Q and your 9. They look alike. So when you are writing yours, make sure you write it clearly. There's a difference between Q and 9. So make sure we see that properly. Then you go on, P is equals to 15. So MM's age, present age is 15, while Toyo's age is 9. So by the time, sure, I mentioned this before, make sure you present your answer in statement form, because it's word problem. I'm asking you a question, you are responding in a sentence format, in a sentence form. So let's check on the answers if we are correct. Sum of ages, 15 plus 9, 24. Then 6 years ago, what we said earlier, 15 minus 6 years, that would be 9 for MM. Then 6 years, Toyo, 9 minus 6, that would be 3. Now, MM was 3 times as old as Toyo. So 6 years ago, Toyo was 3, MM was 9. 3 times 3. will give us 9. Do you understand? So who is the older? Of course, is mm. All right. I believe you are clear on these 2 examples. Because of the limitation of time, I will not be taking further examples. So, as usual, I don't leave you like that. You must always do what we call homework. So you have your homework with you there. Number 1, 3 nuts and 6 bolts have a mass of 72 grams. 4 nuts and 5 bolts have a mass of 66 grams. So find the mass of a nut and of a bolt. So you know what to do there. Your letters for your nuts and your bolts. So you go on with that. So you have another, and that's your homework. Make sure you do them. Make sure you do it yourself. You can send the solution. You can send the solution to me as a picture image. You can screenshot or snap it with your phone. You have one. And send it to js3@brightfuturecollege.com. So it continues. You pause the video and you write your questions in your notes. You solve it. Now let me say a few things on number 7. The sides of the parallelogram below are given in centimeter. Find x. That's the first thing you have to find. Find y. And find the perimeter of the parallelogram. You know what perimeter is? JS1 knows, so you should know. So perimeter you find, but before you can find perimeter, you need to find your x and y. So what will you do? You should brainstorm on this. Make sure you do it yourself, and you can send the answers as I said. Then that's 10 marks for you. 10 marks as usual. Then I need you to give me feedback. I need to hear from you. I need you to send your questions, your comments, your suggested topics, be it JS1 or JS2, JS3 that you want me to review. Still send it via js3@brightfuture.com. I'll see you next lesson. Thank you.